Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to our Virtual Postgraduate Cafe. We are live streaming from our new Marjorie Robinson Library, and we'll be here for about 30 minutes. My name is Monica, and I am a graduate ambassador at Newcastle University. And I studied here myself last year. I did an MSc in international marketing, but now I'm working at the university. All our PG cafes are themed, and the theme for today is being an international student at Newcastle University. And we have our lovely student panel here with all international or European students, and they will be answering your questions live and also discussing their experiences of how it is to be an international student at Newcastle University. And today we'll aim to cover a range of topics such as access to support, including English language, how to make friends in Newcastle, meeting new people, shopping for country-specific goods, access to support, as I mentioned, highlights of our student experiences so far, what is Newcastle like, and why would you want to study here, and also general topics such as applying, funding, and accommodation. So you can ask us any questions that you might have. Right below this video, there is Discuss platform. You have to just very quickly register and then post any questions, and we will do our best to answer all of your questions. However, if we run out of time and we're unable to answer your questions live, we will still answer them afterwards by commenting on them on the Discuss platform. Also, after the video is finished, you will still be able to answer these, to ask these questions, and we'll just comment on them. Right, so our student panel will introduce themselves now, and when you're asking questions, you can direct them either to a specific student or to the whole panel. So let's start with Venetia, and can you tell me where are you from, why did you choose Newcastle, and why did you choose to study postgraduate degree in the first place?
Hi there guys, I'm Venetia. I'm originally from Bulgaria, but I used to live in Berlin, Germany for the last 8 years. I studied and worked there as an architect before I decided to commence my postgraduate studies in Newcastle. The reason for that is the fact that I wanted to further continue my academic career and pursue doctoral studies after I finished my master's degree. And the program of environmental planning and environmental research in Newcastle was a great opportunity to achieve these goals and to equip me with the required skills.
What about you, Cassie?
Hi, I'm Cassie. I'm from China, and I'm studying in cross-cultural communication and international marketing. The reason why I want to study as a postgraduate student is because it is good for my career life, since it will offer me more opportunities in my career life. And actually, I'm really interested in my course and the facilities they offer me, and I'm quite into Newcastle because the people here are really friendly and nice. They're always willing to help you, and it is a really livable city. I have to admit that. Yeah. Thanks.
I agree.
Yeah.
What about you?
And I'm Trust. I'm from Thailand. I'm a postgrad student here, and I feel that the reason why I choose the Newcastle University, because I think university itself provide quite interesting modules, like a lot of modules. Like they have many interesting course. Yeah, and I can choose either I will do research based or practice based in Newcastle University. And another thing is I think Newcastle city itself is quite interesting because they have lots of restaurants and they are very nice city that I can feel relaxed, and 1 year for me, I think it's quite interesting to live in.
Yeah, it's a different cultural experience, definitely. I will also talk for a bit about myself. So as I mentioned, my name is Monica, and I first came here a little bit over a year ago to study MSc International Marketing. And why I chose to do a postgraduate degree is because I wanted to change my career a little bit, because for my undergraduate degree, I did English language. And then I was an English teacher for a while, but I thought I would like to do something different, and Newcastle University gave me this amazing opportunity to completely switch over and do a conversion course. And I did a conversion course in business, meaning that the university didn't require me to have any previous background in business, just a keen interest really. So I did my course in business, and here I am working for a university now in business. So that was a great option for me, and it worked out fantastically really. And why did I choose Newcastle? Well, I love the city, although I hadn't visited before I started studying. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about Newcastle, and it was one of the cities with the highest student satisfaction. And I know now why. And it was also, the university was and still is very affordable compared to other top universities. And the business school where I studied has a triple accreditation, which was also a sign of very good quality of teaching and research done at Newcastle University. So that's my story. Right, so now why don't we move to some questions? So we have some questions that we get asked quite a lot by prospective students or people interested in studying at Newcastle University. So we'll just start with these. So why don't you tell me, how did Newcastle University help you settle in, and how were your first few weeks here? Maybe we start with Venezia.
Yeah. Well, upon arrival, there were a lot of different sessions and events organized by the university. On the one hand, you had the induction sessions, which really helped to get an understanding how the English grading or as a whole educational system works, because it's often quite different from the one that you already used to.
It is very different.
Also, a lot of, for example, my program also introduced or delivered induction sessions concerning, for example, writing skills, group work, and other skills that you'll be needing during the entire year. Also, there was a great range of activities organized by the student union and the different societies. A lot of, for example, I arrived quite early, so I was part of the early birds arrival week. It is a great way just to meet a lot of new people from different backgrounds, different countries, studying different degrees quite quickly. It was basically on the same evening that I arrived, so no time to feel alone or left out.
Yeah.
Well,
what about you?
Yeah,
Did you take
I agree
part?
with her because at very first day that I arrived here, I joined lots of activities that university provide, such as induction weeks and fresher weeks. Yeah, I went to join lots of activities.
Right.
For example, my favorite one is the tour that they take me around to the city, to the restaurant.
In the a bus, there's a double decker bus.
The tour. Yeah, I think it's quite nice because I can feel settling in very easy and very fast, because in very first week we have lots of activities that we can join. That's very helpful.
I remember when I was starting as well, and there were, I think, 3 different welcome weeks going on. There's postgraduate welcome week, freshers week, and also international welcome week. So if you have plenty of opportunities to actually get involved and meet a lot of people. I remember that I went, for example, to a comedy club with the other postgraduate students, and also to Whitley Bay, I think, and Lindisfarne. So these are attractions around Newcastle, and it was, I think, for free even, and they took you for a whole day out and to engage with people and see something around Newcastle. So I thought that was great for settling in and also meeting people. And does any of you use some extra support that university provides, like English language support or writing?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, because my English is not my first language, so I think it's quite important for me. And I have joined lots of classes provided by universities, such as they're called in-sessional programs, which I can join. I can choose from it have 4 different kinds of classes. They have writing class, speaking class, presentation. They have lots of things, and I have joined about 5 or 6 of them.
5 or 6?
Yeah,
wow.
It's very useful. Yeah.
Do you have time for that?
Yeah. Because I think it depends on time management. Because because if you can manage your schedule very well, you can join every class. They have optional, if you want to join writing class, they have 3 or 4 sessions in different times in the week. I think you can
Yeah.
join for sure. Yeah.
Do you find it helpful? Is it helping you with your English and, you know?
Yeah, a lot, because at first I don't know the writing style in
Yeah.
the UK, right? Because it's quite difficult to me to, because we have many different style of learning.
Yeah.
So I think writing class can like conceptualize me to know that what is the expectation of the lecturer or teacher that I have to write up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did any of you take part in anything else?
Yeah, I agree with what Tress said. Is like the international is for most of the international students, and it's not compulsory. So you can like choose which part are you interested in, like speaking, writing, and they're really useful. And besides of that, I also found that they're like the language resource center in our old library is quite useful and helpful, because like you can write down your information and your details, and like which language do you want to learn, and which language do you want to study, and what is your first language, and the others will find it. They will contact you if they're interested in.
Also, like a language exchange.
Yeah, so you can make a lot of friends, and
exactly.
you can be really enjoying this. Yeah.
So just to inform you what is Language Support Center if you don't know. So in our very pretty old library building, we have Language Support Center, which hosts, I don't know how many, maybe 200 languages, you know, a lot of languages from all over the world, and in your spare time you can go there and on your own study these languages, because they have videos, books, listening, everything that you might need to learn a language. So that's a great opportunity. And also you can do this language exchange where you find somebody, for example, who wants to learn your language and you want to learn their language, so you can meet up and do this language exchange. So I think that's really useful. So do you feel like more confident with your English now? Do you feel it's improving and you're, you know, getting better?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. And on top of that, they have like a session to support your academic skill. Like when you come to study in the UK, you are required to write a critical review on a proposal of the research, which is quite different what I have done in my country. So they have like a session to like to give an overview and to guide the students to like go through this process, because it's not quite easy for me at first, but after I joined these sessions, it's quite like I have more ideas about how to write this assignment or the research proposal.
Yeah, I think that's really important to give this support, because it can be quite a culture shock to go to other country and, you know, just study in a different language. But at our university provides a lot of support for our students to help them ease into it, and I think we're all managing fine, right? So how about making friends? You know, in your first few weeks when you had a lot of opportunities and we had all these welcome weeks and so on, did you manage to make any international friends, and are you finding it easy to make friends in Newcastle? What about you, Tessie?
Yeah. Actually, I've made quite a lot international friends. Not only like the friends I met in my class, but like what I said, I've made a lot of friends by exchanging our language, and I've been to a lot of societies and taken part into any kind of activities, and I really recommend you to like engage in or involved in any kind of societies in our campus. Like I've been to the orchestra society, and though I'm not quite good at singing, but like they will offer you a lot of help, and they're really, really nice people, and they're really like to share a lot of things with you, because you are international students. Actually, they're quite curious about your life and what you're experiencing, so they are really, really nice. So
that's great. What about you guys?
Yeah, I feel it's quite, I love the first week so much, because I have made lots of friends in many countries, from many countries, and we have I remember we discussed about how exciting we are, like It was very exciting because we came from our home country in a very new place, and we found that we have many different challenging and exciting at the same time. And I feel that it's quite. I remember it was very nice when I went to the restaurant with my international friends and have local have a meal together, like eat local food, and that was the first time I met international friends.
So now that you mentioned that, going to restaurants and so on, so how do you find living here and maybe shopping for like international goods and all the restaurants that we have here? How are you experiencing it? Do you go out a lot? And
well, yeah, actually Newcastle provides access to great different type of cuisine, so you can go out for everything, maybe something typical English, but also different international cuisines. What I also really enjoy is, for example, the Granger Market in the city center. This is also one of the main attractions here. It's really worth the visit because they offer very international products, but also handmade products, more authentic ones, seasonal one. So at the end, it's really easy to get access. The whole city provides really access to very different types of culture. So,
what about you?
Yeah, I agree. Because I think it's quite easy to find in the city center. They have like Chinese supermarket that we can find products from our country. It's very easy. Almost everything that you want, I think, and and I found that it is very easy to find anything in this city, because the city is not too big and it's not too small. It's like there are different products in the market, and in the city center they have like international food restaurant, a lot. I think you will enjoy to live in Newcastle for sure.
Also, I found recently a shop with Polish food where I like to go a lot when I miss like cuisine from my own country. But also, there are plenty of restaurants, and there are new ones opening up like
all the time,
right as we speak, really all the time. And I quite enjoy going out as well and sampling all kinds of cuisines from different countries. Like last week, I think I went to Caribbean restaurant, which is food that I've never had before, and it was really good. And it's a good way to socialize as well. And there are plenty. Now we have actually Christmas market also with cuisines from all over the world and whatever you might like. And what about the city itself? How do you find it? Do you like living here? What are the best things about the city? Maybe Cassie?
Yeah, it's a quite livable city because the most favorite things that I want to recommend to you is like when I feel like depressed or I'm not happy or something, I would just like walk along alongside the river bank, and it has the great night view alongside the river, and people here are really friendly, as I mention it again and again, because I visited quite a few cities in UK, and every time I come back to Newcastle, I feel like it's almost like home to me. I feel like I'll come back to Newcastle, how great it is.
What are your favorite places? And
well, for me it was also like I didn't visit the city before I came, so I didn't know what I was signing up for.
Surprise!
But I'm really happy with my decision because I think also Trust said it is not too big, not too small, so everything is in a walkable distance. The university is right next to the city center. So actually, and also the quayside, I think it's like 15 minutes from here. So it is actually quite easy to see everything in a short time. I also really enjoy the quayside. They also have on Sunday this great food and flea market, which is really giant. I mean, I think you need a couple of weeks.
I've never been. I just found out about it. I've lived here for a year, and you still just find out about things that you have no idea that they exist. And there's plenty of places.
And also like what I really enjoy is this typical like small British streets with nice houses, and you have so many different cozy pubs. It's really nice grabbing a drink at the end of the week with friends, going there.
There are plenty of pubs.
Yeah.
What about where do you live? do you live in accommodation and in student accommodation or private accommodation?
Yeah, now currently I live in private accommodation next to business school. Yeah, and it's very close to business school because my class will be taken at business school. Yeah, all of them, and it is very easy to walk to them. It does around take me 2 or 3 minutes to the class. Yeah, and it's very close. And I think it's very easy to find the accommodation in Newcastle because most of them are close to each other. It's very close. If you want to go to the class or to supermarket, to any place that you want, I think it's very close and easy.
Yeah. I also actually lived last year. Now I moved to private accommodation, but last year I lived in Lisa's Terrace, which is one of our university accommodations, which is right next to business school. Like it's between the really business school and Newcastle United Stadium. And it was beautiful because the windows were overlooking Lisa's Park. So whenever I was studying, I could just look outside of the window and see beautiful trees and park, and to give me some inspiration, really. And as yourself, I was in business school in 5 minutes, so I could get up like half an hour later and just walk there, and that was perfect. So it's a good option if you're wondering whether to live in private or university accommodation. Like, it's a good option to go for university accommodation sometimes because it's all like really in the city center, right?
Yeah.
And it's very affordable as well.
It's also a very easy process because like if you're from different country, you cannot always come here and check out different homes. It's much easier to do it through the university. They provide a lot of support in this search. Yeah,
we actually give guarantee of postgraduate accommodation if you apply until a certain date, and that's what I did myself. I was too unsure and certain, like to look for accommodation on my own, so that was a really good option. And what about like transport? So as we've both said, it takes us 5 minutes to walk to business school. What about you guys? Can you walk everywhere, or do you have to take transport, and how is the transport in the city?
Well, for me, I walk all the time, so I don't live that close to the university, but it's like a 15-minute walk.
Which is probably close by a lot of standards.
Exactly. Which is it's really
but by Newcastle standard, if you have to walk 15 minutes, it's far because everything is so close together.
So for me, it's also going to the library, going to the university, going to the city center is always by foot. But as far as I know, the buses are extremely reliable. Friends of mine are using it all the time. She lives near my place, and also they're like transport cards, affordable to students. So it's
What about you? Do you use public transport?
For me, because I'm not living in Newcastle, actually. I'm living in Gateshead, which is just close to Newcastle, so I have to take a metro every day, but I have to say it's very, very convenient because it just takes me like less than 15 minutes to go to the main campus, and actually the train is always on time, but the metro station is just 1 minute walk distance away from my house, and Gateshead is really quiet and livable, and people there they're just enjoying their life, and though it's quite different from what it's looked like in Newcastle, but it's a great city to live in.
So we have quite a lot of transportation options. I mean, we mentioned buses. We have, I think, 3 different bus companies, so they take you everywhere. And we have metro, which is like, underground, so it's like an underground train that also covers quite a lot of areas, and actually in 30 minutes you can be by the seaside. We have this really nice. Have you been to Tynemouth?
They have ferry as well.
They have ferry as well,
And fish and chips.
And fish and chips, so Tynemouth is a great place to visit on like a weekend, and especially when there is nice weather, you can go and enjoy fish and chips by the seaside. And also we have international airport. Did you fly anywhere yet from Newcastle?
No, just came here, but it's really well connected to the city center. Only through the one metro line, you're like, I think in 10-15 minutes in the city center, so it's quite convenient.
It's very convenient. I'm actually having my first flight from Newcastle airport just in 2 weeks, going home for Christmas, so I'm excited. So there are even flights to New York from Newcastle. So if you're a quite keen traveler, also there are some quite affordable low-cost airlines. you can just take a weekend and go really to some fantastic destinations. And so what are your favorite areas in Newcastle? If you go out, where would you go out and how would you enjoy yourself?
To me, I mostly go to Quayside and the monument. Monument is the center of the city center. It's like a big monument of Earl Grey, if I remember.
Earl Grey.
And there are a lot of restaurants surrounding that area, and many people so we make an appointment there because I think it's very easy and
Like make a booking.
yeah, remarkable.
Yeah, the restaurants in Newcastle are very popular.
Yeah.
So people like going out here.
I also really enjoyed this area in Newcastle. Like last week, I was at this really great Indian restaurant. Also near the monument is also like the oldest pub in Newcastle, like Old George, which is 18 something or something like that. So it's also quite authentic.
Yeah, and there's a restaurant. It's actually a tea house around our campus. It's Williams Brothers Tea House.
That's really nice.
It's my favorite tea house because it offers you like multiple choices of tea, and they have the best scones in
they're
good.
So it's really lovely.
And it's also every time I walk in, it's just like full of aroma, and the waiters and waitress are good looking. I really recommend this.
Well, we almost have to wrap up. So the last question is a difficult one. So if you haven't thought about it before, now is the time. So what are you planning to do after graduation? Do you have any ideas, like what to do next?
To me, I think after I graduate, I will travel around, to go the place that I have not been there before.
Yeah, I have a lot of actually international friends that stayed for a few months after and just traveled to Europe. So I think it's a good option if you come from afar. Did you think where do you want to go?
Yeah, I think I may go to European countries or some cities in the southern England. Because I've never been in that part of England.
That's great. What about you guys?
I think I'm looking forward, maybe commencing a PhD. So I'm using my time here to not only complete my master's degree, but also prepare a doctoral proposal during this process, and continuing to further studies. But also I think a month or two after the last submission, I would also enjoy a little bit traveling around England.
A little rest. Deserved rest. So I obviously stayed after I finished studying because I just like the city so much, really, that I thought, well, I have to live here longer to enjoy it more because there are still so many places that I haven't seen. So that was our last question. Thank you everybody for watching, and just remember that you can still ask us questions on the Discuss platform, which is right below the video, and for the next 24 hours you can post them and we will just answer them as a comment. And also on the 16th of May next year we have our next virtual cafe. It would be great if you could join us for that as well. You can just register through the website, and in case you haven't explored our PG Cafe site, you should do it because there's great content. We have all our profiles there, so you can read about our current students. We have student blogs and the list of all our events that are upcoming, and there are a lot of events. And also just one last thing, if you have registered for the event and joined us, we will be sending you a short evaluation survey about really how you liked it and what could we do better, or what did you like about our virtual cafe, and we would be very grateful if you could fill it out. And that is it from us. We hope you really enjoyed it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.